Hello, everybody, to another episode of Half a Clue Movie Review. And I'm mad as hell that this movie fucking exists. So get off your chairs and tell them, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to stand for this anymore. I'm not going to stand for Adam McKay.
I'm not going to take it anymore. First of all, I just want to start off by saying, just before we get into this episode, I love fingerling potatoes, okay? I find them delicious, nutritious, and they can go great with almost anything, honestly. But sometimes if they're not prepared well, they can taste like ass. They can like be really flavorless, bland, or worse, undercooked. So despite what we say here today, just to be clear, fingerling potatoes can be really good unless done improperly. All right, just saying.
If you guys didn't know,
fingerling potatoes are delicious. But you ever tried undercooked fingerling potatoes? They suck ass. A lot like undercooked satire.
Oh, zinger.
Anyway,
so on today's episode, we're going to be talking about Don't Look Up, the number 2 most viewed movie of all time on Netflix.
Bonkers.
Directed by Adam McKay. And in a weird way, I guess he's proving us right by the viewership in terms of like, oh, this is how you get people's attention. You know what I mean? But whatever.
Yeah, when you have like a super star-studded cast, you know, we'll get it. Whatever.
It's, oh gosh. Okay, so Adam McKay, at this point, I guess he's esteemed comedic director.
He is, yeah. You'd say he is.
Yeah, like with Will Ferrell, yes. What's it called? We're gonna get into his pre with Will Ferrell and post Will Ferrell. Who, you know, he made classics with Will Ferrell with such as Anchorman 1 and 2, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, The Other Guys, The Campaign. Even The Campaign I've enjoyed. I think in a weird way I like that better than this fucking film.
Honestly, a lot of those are my favorite Will Ferrell movies.
Yes.
So, like, yeah, good on him. Those are awesome. Hilarious.
He decides, after Will Ferrell, I want to be a serious director. Super serious. I want to be taking I want to have awards. I want to be, you know, have the attention of my peers and esteemed critically.
Nothing wrong with that, you know.
Exactly, right. But he decides to, and I guess he's always been interested in
politics and social commentary.
Yeah, politics, social commentary, the economic structure of America, capitalism and his critique on it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like 90% of liberal Hollywood. So he made The Big Short after his split from Will Ferrell. And I did enjoy it at the time, and I do think as I see it as an informative mockumentary, and even though it's not, it was shot like it is, but the information that was presented there was good. I think the story material was good enough, and this is when he didn't try to shoot everything possible without understanding a shot. I mean, he did the same thing for Big Short. So I don't know. So, that one was just somehow the most focused, and then he did Vice with about the Dick Cheney movie.
He won Christian Bale an Oscar with that one, right?
No. It was Rami Malek.
Yeah. Never mind. Sorry.
He won the SAG. He
won the SAG. That's what I was getting mixed up with. Yeah. But he became close. Kind of.
Yeah, he was. He was the second running, and Vice happened, and I was actually really excited for Vice. I was like, okay, you know what? This is his first time. I'll give him a pass. The Big Short, right? I thought the cinematographer's dog shit, but I thought the message was important, and the performances were good, and the actual presentation of the information, not the actual visual presentation, but like how they explain these complex ideas about like AAA bonds, B bonds, the housing market crisis, was very digestible. So I was like, okay. Let's see how he does Vice, which is about Dick Cheney, who had a very long historic, what's it called, and controversial political career.
Oh, was he controversial? Dick Cheney?
I know.
Not one of the most hated people in American history.
And I thought he was going to do it in a very entertaining way, kind of like how he did with Big Short. But no, I hated that film. That was awful. And apparently a lot of the stuff that would have made me like the film, like he had a musical sequence in that film where Dick Cheney was part of a musical sequence explaining his dastardly plot, and they took that out because he was like, oh, it's just too much for the film. Really? And you think all the boring shit that you kept there and the terrible fucking editing, and of course he loves 80s rock and 70s rock. He likes to put the 80s, 70s rock and do montages and shit, like every American fucking comedy director. Yeah, he included that there. So and I've grown to hate that film. So Big Short, I was kind of like, okay, I'm hoping he redeems himself. It's a film about couple scientists who discovered that a meteor, an asteroid, is coming to hit Earth and destroy everybody along with it. He tries to. The scientists are played by Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio, and they try to convince Mrs. Donald Trump, played by Meryl Streep.
President Orlean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is
AKA Trump.
AKA
like,
Trump.
Yeah.
If you rearrange the letters, it's Trump. Not really. But, to have a appropriate response and, destroy, obviously, the asteroid to save their lives. But, and it becomes a sloppy, messy critique on climate change, COVID, and capitalism. Adam McKay presents Don't Look Up.
Yay.
What do you think of Adam McKay overall, like from your perspective? Like,
Okay, so to be blunt, I haven't seen any of his non-Will Ferrell movies. So I haven't seen The Big Short or Vice, but I've seen all his other films, and I think just after watching Don't Look Up, I think those films are definitely more in his style. The improv comedy and everything, and like how he doesn't do shot lists and stuff like that, lends itself way more to like improvised comedians and stuff like Will Ferrell and like the cast of pretty much all those guys, like John C. Reilly. He's fucking hilarious and he knows how to do improv comedy correctly, and you really need those guys to be able to carry that style of filmmaking. So I really appreciated those films, and not so much Don't Look Up, but I mean, we'll get into that. But I mean, for the most part, I was pretty open to him. I liked his other stuff. I understood you had some issues with the other films too, but I hadn't seen them yet. But I was going into this very open-mindedly, and I was pretty let down, I'll say. Yeah.
This film broke me. I was like, I used to be the biggest Adam McKay fan. I love Anchorman. Even Anchorman 2 has its faults, but I was a fanboy, and I was like, I don't care what people say. I love this film. Anchorman 2, best film of the year. And the Step Brothers, obviously. And even the other guys had its problems and flaws, and it really dies off after spoiler for that film. Spoiler for all his films.
Yeah.
After The Rock and Samuel Jackson dies.
Yeah.
Because they were like the best characters in the film.
It's like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I was like, oh wow. At first I was like shocked, and then the film kind of peters off afterwards.
Yeah, it kind of, a lot of like the third act and everything else, it kind of loses its luster. But yeah, I think it as one of the strongest openings, I think, in like a modern comedy.
Yeah.
Hilarious, aim for the bushes, all that stuff.
It's like,
I think
you
they do
have the right to remain silent as he's driving through the car.
They have a lot of like really fun moments and a lot of fun poking fun at those at like action comedies and stuff, and like the serious tone of like action films and everything. So I think he did a pretty decent job. And yeah, like you said, the other films, Anchorman, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, are like legends in their own right by now.
But the difference between those films and his post Will Ferrell films. By the way, Adam McKay, fucking slap yourself in the face. You fucked up. One of the reasons why, the brief context of why Adam McKay no longer works with Will Ferrell is because he did Will Ferrell dirty. Because Adam McKay's making a Crown-like series about the Lakers dynasty of with growing up, and then Will Ferrell wanted to play the coach. Yeah,
the coach for the Lakers.
But
I don't know Lakers stuff, so I couldn't tell you who the coach is. I'm sorry, I don't know basketball.
Oh, that's fine. We'll cover it one day. So
I know Shaq. Shaq's cool.
But Adam McKay didn't want Will Ferrell. Apparently he didn't trust Will Ferrell to do more serious acting. He wanted somebody more realistic, so he chose, ironically, his other counterpart in Step Brothers, John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
But of course, John C. Reilly is a stand-up guy, so he called Will Ferrell immediately. Like, hey, they hired me behind your back. And of course, since then, they haven't been talking.
Yeah.
And as a result, he's made films like The Big Short and Vice, and he's trying to be serious. And people fucking jerk him off because, I don't know, whatever. And so that's why, like, make up with Will Ferrell, please. Your best shit is with him. I really don't like your post Will Ferrell career.
Honestly, I mean, we don't know 100% for sure what happened between them. It's impossible to tell. This is just what we have heard and what we understand to be the situation.
Oh, this is coming from his own mouth, though.
Oh, this is coming from Adam McKay?
Adam McKay's mouth.
Like,
he realized
I
fucked up.
I see. Yeah. Okay, then yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say, like, hopefully, I was gonna try to give him some wiggle room here, but I guess not.
He says it's his own thing. Yeah.
I was gonna be like, maybe there's something else going on, but no. Okay. Well, again, still, you never know. Who knows? But I would really hope that they would make up because, yeah, I think they make such a great team, and with John C. Reilly too. Like I think personally, I think John C. Reilly is the better choice if you're trying to do the more serious stuff, just because he's proven himself like over and over again that he's like also a very talented actor. Not saying that Will Ferrell isn't, but it's more of a stretch. So
the thing is, it's like
you just don't do it underhandedly.
Yeah, exactly. Just tell him about it. Tell him the reasons. Maybe give Will Ferrell some other role or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever. You owe him. So after seeing Don't Look Up, I'm like, I'm not excited for any films he makes from going forward unless it's another Will Ferrell one. This film is supposed to be a satire on climate change and critiquing how
politics and the media and how our responses and reactions to crisis level events.
Yeah, and it does it like much worse than other films that are not as popular as this.
Yeah, we'll bring up a few examples of stuff that other films and their like forms of media that have tackled similar issues before in a satirical style, but yeah, like we said, did it much better, much better executions, aka Futurama, Black Mirror.
Yeah, the Futurama episode. You're talking about the trash episode.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, Network.
Yes. And he's a big fan of Network, and he even tried to do like his own version of Network in Anchorman, and they're obviously not as good, nowhere near as good. Yeah. But I forgive it because you know why? It's funny.
Yeah. It was way more over the top and ridiculous. It's like, I feel like that's what this movie could have used.
Yes. And I think, okay, so let's just get it straight out of the way. I don't think this film's funny. I honestly laughed like maybe once or twice and that's it.
The thing is, okay, when it comes to comedy or horror, I feel like it's really easy for people just to write it off and say, this didn't scare me or this didn't make me laugh, right? And it's like comedy and horror are subjective, right? It's subjective. What something's gonna make you laugh, something's not. But sometimes it's like I feel like it's more subjective than others. There's some where it's like, okay, yeah, like this didn't personally make me laugh, but I at least had like enjoyed it or had like a good time watching it, or like it made me chuckle a few times. I don't know, like I could see how someone would think this is funny.
Exactly. Like there's sometimes where I wouldn't laugh at this humor. Yeah, but I could see why other people would enjoy it.
Yeah,
right.
But like, man, watching this one, I chuckled a few times. And like I laughed like once, like I actually laughed one time, I think, and I was like I said, I was really going to this with an open mind. I was like, okay, let's give this a shot. I hear it's been doing really well. I liked his other work, but man, it didn't make me. I just didn't think it was funny.
Yeah, see, all this bad satire stuff, I would have forgiven if I laughed.
I'm pretty damn forgiving when it comes to comedies too. Okay, yeah. like I said, like Anchorman 2, there are a lot of issues, and there are certain sequences I'm like, wow, this is going on for way too long.
Mean his whole blind sequence?
Yes. Does he become friends with like a shark or something? Yeah. Like, again, that was like, this is going on for way too long, but it's still like, there are parts that made me laugh, and other such comedies where it's like, even some like shitty comedies, I'm like, okay, this is not objectively not the funniest thing in the world, but I can find the humor in it. But man, this was tough, cherry picking parts that made me laugh. I was like, this is kind of funny,
because almost nobody here, except one character and one actor, we'll get into it, who understood what film he was in, who understood what needed to be the perfect blend, the tone, and also he's one of the most talented actors out there.
Yeah.
No, I think most of them weren't.
Talking about Ron Perlman.
Exactly. Ron Perlman actually had
he actually did.
Laugh.
Yeah, he did. He was funny,
when he was going up when he was launching to destroy the asteroid.
He's just saying all the really bigoted and like racist and
which we will not say. We will not say on the podcast.
But they made me laugh because it's so ridiculous and over the top. But
let's say his. I'll leave it at this. His 2 Indian joke, which we talked about over the phone. I laughed a lot actually.
That was funny.
Yeah. And if anything, I think also he understood the tone pretty well. Yeah,
I think he did.
So it's like most of them are not comedic actors.
No.
And most of them are not improv comedians.
Yes.
So as a result, and I get it what he was trying to go for, like famous people and stuff like that. And he wanted to do a different thing, and he wants to have more respect and clout for this film, but I don't think it worked.
No.
And I think like for this type of film, it would have worked better with people like Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Even though I don't like Seth Rogen that much, but Seth Rogen or
I guess
Jonah Hill too, I guess, but he's in the film.
Yeah, get someone like Taron Killam, get someone like what's it called? It's like pretty much like cherry pick people from SNL, honestly.
John Mulaney or something like that.
I'm thinking right now, what's his name? He's on
even Bob Odenkirk.
Oh yeah, Bob Odenkirk, dude. Bob Odenkirk could have played the president, and that would have been freaking hilarious.
Bob Odenkirk played a better satirical version.
Get Bill Hader.
Bill Hader, yes. Bob. You know the thing is, Bob Odenkirk ironically played a better version of a better satirical version of Donald Trump in the film Long Shot with Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron.
Oh, I did not see that one.
And he was funny and excellent in that one. That one's like, it's not super subtle, but it was subtle enough. And he didn't play it like as over the top. It was like subtle at his digs. He's like,
I think the point is that like all of these actors and actresses who are in this film are fantastic. Yeah, they're talented, they're great, but none of them are comedians.
No,
like none of them are actual like straight up comedians, or more importantly, improv comedians.
Yes.
And that's exactly what lends to his style of comedy, and or at least visuals and whatever. And none of these guys have that. So like a lot of them are improving here and there. Like like Jonah Hill. I think Jonah Hill can be very funny. He has great timing. He knows how to make comedies work, but usually when it's scripted and usually when he's like has minimal improvisation and stuff.
Because I don't think he's the strongest improv comedian either.
No. That's nothing to say against him or anything. It's not his style. It's just not his strength. And you have to lean into your actor's strengths. And I think that was seriously lacking throughout this movie. Yeah. Where you're asking a lot of these actors to basically go out of their comfort zones and work in a style of comedy that is not akin to their style at all, or some of them not even comedians at all, most of them. So it's like that's where it really falls flat, unfortunately.
And I think another thing is tone. Like he's trying to be he's trying to make this he's trying to mix serious dramatic elements with his Adam McKay level of satire.
Yeah.
And I don't think it mixes well.
No.
Like he's not a Bong Joon-ho, like he's not a South Korean filmmaker where they could somehow mix like 9 different tones together and make it work.
Yeah.
But I think that works because their characters are representative of the films. Like their characters are like 8 different tones too.
Yeah.
But not this one.
Like if you watch Okja, that's like a great blend of like there's some silly kind of comedic moments in there, but also the main heart of the film is the drama and the like relationship between the little girl and the pig monster thing. But like it's only like, you know, like punctuated by comedic moments. It's not trying to make that its lead. And this film, it's like it's trying to make the comedy its lead, but also it's trying to make it like serious like commentary at the same time. And it's like,
and also trying to have like a serious, dramatic, heart-jerking moments, especially in the last, like the ending.
Yeah, which like really fell flat because it's like this whole time we've been like joking around or whatever, and it's like now you're trying to pull me in for something serious, and it's like I don't feel it, man. Like I'm sorry, like I don't even know who half these people are.
Exactly. Okay, let's get into some of the characters and performances. Okay, who we think are best and worst. Let's take our leads. Jennifer Lawrence playing Kate Dibiasky, whatever name. Leonardo DiCaprio playing Dr. Randall Mindy. And honestly, I think they both fall flat for me.
Yeah.
Like Leo tries his best. He tries better than Jennifer Lawrence. I think Jennifer Lawrence, I have not liked her since I think Mother, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Actually, was that her last film? Actually, oh no, she had the Dark Phoenix.
Oh my god, I forgot she was. Yeah. I think she forgot she was in that movie. No, it's like I love Jennifer Lawrence. Honestly, I think she's like she can be really well, but she has great performances. Okay, but I think just in this film, it just didn't work. Again, I think if anything, if they had her just being the straight character, just the one who's trying to like be as like straight as possible, that could have possibly worked, or even Leo's character, but it deviates so much, and like they're trying to crack jokes and everything, it just doesn't work with Leo. Particularly, it's like I think he could have been perfect for this, because if these two characters had just had that like serious moment all the way through, leading to their break, that like network style, like, you know, rage quit at like halfway through the movie, it would have been like it would have worked. But the problem is everyone's trying to be so damn goofy, man. It's just. Yeah, they don't really have the comedic chops, unfortunately, to really carry this film.
And I think he had a better comedic performance in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and that's not his fault.
Yeah, no,
just a better director.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who was just more consistent and shit was scripted out, and he knew what to do with the character.
It's better dialogue, better scenes, just shot better, and
and all of it made sense. Like I'm talking about, literally, that film dedicated itself. Like it basically was like almost like 2.5 hours of setup for the flamethrower joke.
Yeah.
It's like
exactly
like there's dedication to this one. It felt like, and by Adam McKay's own admission, They shot for the edit and they improv a lot. They had a script, but it was like a basic outline at best. And you could tell with this film, and both of them fell flat for me. Leonardo was the better of the two. Melaine Linsky, who played his wife, I liked her. She was cool.
She tends to be, again, she's a comedic actress. She's like from 2.5 Men and a bunch of other films too. But again, well, they didn't give her anything to work with comedy wise.
No.
She was just like the straight wife character who's trying to like deal with the situation and the fact that her husband's unfaithful and stuff.
Oh, when we get to criticisms and comparisons to other films, we're going to talk about specifically how Comparison Network and how they handle that.
Okay, yeah.
Melaine Linsky, Melaine Linsky has been she's been trying to venture more into dramatic territory with indie films lately, and I think she had a big turn in Yellow Jackets, that series on Showtime.
Ooh, I've not seen that yet.
Was that? We'll talk about that one day. And even I think Timothée Chalamet, he was in the film for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was like a hobo hipster guy who's a Christian.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look like a hobo hipster dude at all.
He looks like Timothée Chalamet.
Who's like a Greek god. That's the reason why he played the Duke in fucking Dune.
Yeah.
It's weird. I think like horribly miscast. Meryl Streep. I like Meryl Streep, but I didn't laugh at all with her as Orlean.
Yeah, everyone loves Meryl Streep. Well, usually. Unless you're the person who this film is targeted against, I guess. Yeah. But like, again, they try to give her this like just this really bland character, like this hyper characterization of a conservative president, as like a criticism of like, wink wink Donald Trump and others, but it's like it's so like unlayered and
it's so surface level. Like the difference between this and like something like Veep.
Yeah.
Or to be fair, Veep is a series, right? But even though, and when we get into satire, it's like low hanging fruit. Like Veep is actually like they criticize the liberal president.
Yeah.
Right. And also in that one, even though like the critique is there is that like politicians care about their interests over the national interests.
Yes.
And even if when they work for the nation's interests, it's actually to serve their own good.
Yeah.
And she does that, but at the same time, they still give the main character played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, like she has an emotional core to her character, who she cares about, her relationships, and that she actually has her own insecurities.
Yeah, she's like kind of a terrible person, but like she's still a person.
Yeah.
Like she's complicated.
She has a background.
Yeah, like there's reasons for her being terrible at the same time as sometimes where she's like she can be good. And it's with Meryl Streep, it's like she's just a dumbass through and through, and that's pretty much it. Like and she's a dumbass, selfish monster, and that's all. That's where it starts and finishes.
And that's just surface level commentary, right? There's no nuance to that commentary where like it's like in it. Like maybe if she's shown the humanity with her, like it's like, look, she knows what she's doing, but at the time she's like trapped within her own system. You could talk about this endless wheel of the political system and capitalism, how it just grinds everybody to this, and they're trapped in their roles. And you could do something like that, but the film doesn't. It doesn't.
No,
I'm having my network moment right now where I'm mad as hell.
And then there's Jonah Hill, who plays the president's son, Jason Orlean. And again, he's supposed to be like a characterization of like Jared Kushner and like all, Trump's kids or whatever. But again, the most surface level possible interpretation of that he's just a spoiled, rich, coked up idiot. And
that's it.
That's it. And it's like, okay, fine. Okay.
We already know that his kids are selfish, coked up, fucking narcissistic idiots.
Yeah.
What else are you trying to say that we already don't know?
Exactly.
Like everything in this film is saying stuff that we already know. It's just it's a preaching ground to liberals, and I'm a liberal guy too. But even to me, it was preachy for me.
Yeah, full disclosure. Yeah, like I hope this doesn't isolate anybody who's listening to us who is conservative.
That's fine.
I try to be open minded, whatever. But I do tend to lean a little liberally. So I feel like this film was like tailored towards people like us, right? That like tend to be a little more liberal, and it just like. It felt more like propaganda than satire.
Oh, it is.
It was
100%.
It fails on like pretty much every level when it comes to what a satire is meant to be. Because like we're saying, something like Veep. Well, I mean, we'll get into the satire stuff, but
well, let's get into the character. And by the way, we're conservative viewers. It's fine. It's cool. Like I said, we just love film. This is a film podcast, and we try to leave politics out of it, unless it's something like this.
Yeah, this just happens to be a very politically motivated film, so it's gonna come up. Again, trying to be open-minded. Yeah.
So honestly, I've Kate Blanchett, even though like I like the look of her character, like trying to be like a weird Megyn Kelly, super flat.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry, super flat. Himesh Patel, who was great in Yesterday, and even this show Station 11 was super flat. Ron Perlman was cool. Ariana Grande and Kid Cudi, what the fuck were they doing in the film?
know what the hell, why they were here.
I did not laugh one bit during their sequences.
They're not remotely funny.
No.
Like, I'm sorry. Or I take that back. Kid Cudi has been funny. I've seen him on a little bit like on Comedy Bang Bang and stuff like that.
But it's not here.
But that is, yeah, it's not here, man. That is a scripted comedy show. This is not. This is, or it is, but there's no lend to any kind of comedic elements really that they're to give them any opportunities to be funny. I don't know. Ariana Grande can probably be funny. I don't fucking know. But like this was not it, man. She plays Riley Bina, who's like I guess like
Ariana Grande.
Yeah, she's basically Ariana Grande, but like, turned up to 11 or whatever.
There's nothing. It's like the reason why I don't find a lot of this film funny, and Ariana Grande exemplifies this. Like just because you add fuck or just stating the obvious does not make it funny. It's lazy. The reason why it's not funny is because it's lazy humor. There's lazy jokes.
There's that whole like 3-minute sequence of like they're doing like that benefit concert thing, or they're telling everyone don't look up, and then it turns into like a fucking Ariana Grande concert, and I'm just like, why is this happening? Like why are we
all gonna fucking die?
Yeah, and it's like, this isn't funny. This isn't like
entertaining.
Like, no, it's like what are you trying to do? You're just jerking yourselves off, being like, look guys, look what we can do. We all come together. Oh, the music industry. And it's like,
I get they're trying to make a joke saying that we only pay attention when there's celebrities and stuff.
Yeah.
And fuck you guys for proving Adam McKay right and giving him fuel to the fire by making this the second most fucking viewed film on Netflix.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's super shallow. Like, what are the consequences of celebrity-focused media or celebrity-focused attention?
Exactly.
Like, they just say it, but they don't explore the consequences or why or how, which is supposed to be for good fucking satire.
Yeah.
Should we say to our only performance that we liked?
Hell yeah, dude.
So go say it.
Mark Rylance as Peter Isherwell, who is basically Elon Musk / Steve Jobs /
Jeff Bezos
/ fucking Mark Zuckerberg, whatever.
/ Dead Human CEO.
Yeah. He felt like he was the dude that really got the movie that he was in. He understood the tone of what it should have been, and he pretty much nails it for the most part. He's like this weird, like sociopathic tech CEO.
Yeah.
and he was my favorite part of the movie.
Yes.
He's the best performance by far. Like again, he plays it mostly straight, but like it's a little bit nuanced
because like he has like no, like he somehow he emotes without humanity in his eyes.
Yeah. He's like talking about like, I know how you're gonna die. Like, do you realize like what kind of power that we have capable of? You know what I mean? Like,
and he looks slightly off. Like he doesn't do direct eye contact.
Yeah.
He looks like slightly off, like your eye level and stuff. And it's weird, and I like that.
He's got like perfect teeth, and he's got like that quiet, like
hair.
He almost plays like a super characterization of like his character in Ready Player One.
Yeah. Like
that's what he really reminded.
Yeah,
exactly, the evil version of that. And yeah, so I think he was great. He was funny because basically without trying to be funny. He's not like trying to insert jokes here and there. He's the kind of straight, like professional, just like straight up actor guy who knew how to play the comedy, like by not trying to like force a joke or like, oh hey, look at me, I'm being goofy, aren't I? And it's like, no, he's just playing it straight, being serious, and letting the comedy emerge from the creepiness of his character, and the lack of humanity that he carries with him. And he nailed it on the head. He did a great job.
If everybody was Mark, honestly, if it was all Mark Rylance, I would have actually enjoyed the film more. If Jennifer Lawrence's character played by Mark Rylance, Leonardo DiCaprio, this is like
Anomaly or fucking being John Malkovich.
Oh, Anomalisa. Are you talking about
Anomalisa?
Yeah. That would have been great. I would have loved that.
Yeah, we're all the same.
It's, you know what? I think. Let's remake this film with Mark Rylance, please, for the love of God.
Let's get a real meteor and just shoot it into the earth.
I know people were shitting on him for winning the Best Supporting Actor over Sylvester Stallone for Creed, but no, this guy's excellent. So let's get into the technical stuff and what we thought was absolute shit. The editing.
The editing was baffling. There's like certain moments where, like I guess for like the beginning of the film, I was actually a little bit into it. Okay, like when they first discovered the meteor, and I was like, "Oh crap!" Like this again feels very tense. I mean, I've seen Deep Impact and what is it? The other one? Fuck.
Oh, well,
the
it's
Michael Bay one.
Armageddon.
Armageddon. Anyway, so like that's like a very tense moment and everything, and they're rushing to the White House, and then they make them wait, and it's like, okay, this is like, it's kind of funny. I get what they're doing. And then they come to scene where they're in the White House and the Oval Office, and they're like actually discussing what's happening or what's going to happen. And it just starts like randomly cutting all over the place, completely jarring and like pointless.
And shots of like hands for no reason, or like handheld for all the time.
Yeah, and it's like there's certain aspects of it. It's like, again, like I can understand just using film language. You get that like you're trying to show that characters are disinterested or distracted or whatever, but none of those shots really gave me that at all. Like they cut to like Meryl Streep's hands where she's like basically fiddling with the picture of the meteor and stuff, and again, I like it feels like it's not really communicating to me that like she doesn't give a shit. It just shows that like
she's fiddling with the fucking picture.
Exactly. Like I guess she's not literally looking at it or whatever, but like still there's ways to block out that scene where you can see her like kind of glance at the picture, puts it down on the desk. I don't fucking know.
There's just nothing planned. That's because nothing is planned. Nothing's blocked out. I mean, some parts maybe, but I might be too harsh on this film. But as you could tell. Like what a waste of a perfectly.
We can be a little harsh on it.
Yeah. What a waste of a perfectly amazing Linus Sandrin, who did La La Land.
Yeah.
And No Time to Die, some of the most beautiful films I've seen in the past like couple years.
Yeah.
And what do you do with him? You're like, okay, I don't know what we're shooting. Can you just put the camera everywhere? Let's shoot everything.
Yeah, they were clearly shooting the Oval Office sequences with like, I don't know, at least like 3 cameras maybe. Yeah. Like they're just shooting all over the place, which again is fine for improv comedy.
But because, not for this.
Yeah, that's how you get great comedic improv performances is you just basically shoot it from like multiple different angles. You let the characters run through the scene a couple of times. Everyone kind of gets in their different like quips and whips and whatever, and it works that way because then you can stitch it together later to make like a great funny film that can like have those moments. But when it's actors just trying to play through a scene straight, but then also trying to just be quippy and shit, then it just becomes like a jarring mess. That's exactly how this pretty much entire film felt.
Even the music was falling flat, and it has Nicholas Patel, who did the music for what's it called? I know I hammer this theme song to him all the time, but the Succession theme song.
Yeah,
you know that song, right?
Yeah.
And also the Moonlight, the score. Like
beautiful,
excellent fucking. Like I don't remember anything from this film.
No. Honestly, as soon as you mentioned the music, I was like trying to remember. I was like, I don't remember a single piece of the music. And I usually really try to keep an ear out for like music and film and stuff. I'm a big nerd for that. And
it's just
like,
Adam McKay bringing everybody down.
Yeah, I was like, I can't even remember a single piece of it. Honestly, it was just terrible, except for that like terrible 3-minute sequence of Ariana Grande singing on stage for some reason.
It's like we're all gonna die. Oh fuck this. Okay, let's get into satire.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how this film doesn't fail as a satire. It's toothless because of the definition of satire by dictionary.com or Merriam-Webster is the use of irony, sarcasm, or ridicule of the like to expose, denounce, and deride of vice, folly, or whatever, right? In this case, it was obviously either capitalism or climate change.
Yeah. I think, okay, so there have this form, like, okay, basically comedic satire talking about people's indifference or lack of response to climate change or other such big crises has been done a few times over, and like we're going to talk about, like especially because this film tackles a few different things, right? It tackles big tech, it tackles capitalism, it tackles the media, and it tackles climate change. Yeah, that seems like a lot, right? And all these other examples we're going to give you are films that tackle pretty much each different aspect of that.
But just that,
yes. So there's films like, okay, so like there's an episode of Futurama,
yes, which is excellent.
Yeah, I think is the best example of how this film fails. So there's a hilarious episode where basically there's a giant ball of garbage that is hurtling towards Earth that is going to wipe us all out, right? And the reason why it's hurtling towards Earth is because this was a ball of garbage that humans in the 20th century created through all of their, like mishandlings and whatever, and not knowing how to handle the Earth. So they're like, we're literally just going to shoot our shit out into space, and then it comes back to haunt us. So the humans are able to deal with that by basically creating a second giant ball of garbage, shooting that into space, and then it bounces off and whatever. And then they're like, okay, what are we going to do when the second one comes back? And they're like, well, that's not our problem. The future generations can deal with it.
So that's great. I love that episode. I was waiting for you to bring up that episode. So that like does a couple things better than Don't Look Up. One, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. So that's the biggest thing. Number two, the thing about the asteroid thing that doesn't work if it's about climate change is that the asteroid is not our fault. It's happening from an outside thing. Climate change happened because of our actions. It's supposed to criticize. Satire is supposed to criticize the causality of that.
Makes you look inward and think like, okay, rethink your own like, possible like outlooks on life and everything. And
Futurama does that.
Yes.
It's like their trash. It's their actions the ones that created the ball of trash.
Yeah, it's humanity's own actions or inactions that have come back to haunt us, which is what climate change is pretty much all about, right? It's humans, we did this or whatever, we're fucking up, and so now basically planet Earth is going to bite us in the ass or whatever, and it's the humans have to react to that. And then of course the joke at the end that basically we're just putting it off to the next generation, which is again something that is very prevalent with the climate change discussion.
And I agree, and that's why and even like because they're trying to criticize the government's response to natural disasters. By any chance, have you seen Shin Godzilla?
Oh no.
We'll watch one. I think you'll love it. But that is specifically a critique because that was made after the tsunami that hit Japan.
Yeah.
And the guy who made Evangelion was like, I hated how they handled it, so let me make a Godzilla allegory film about that.
Which is perfect because that's what Godzilla is supposed to be, an allegory for horrible disasters.
Exactly. And Godzilla was most likely created because of human error, like wasting the government or whatever. Something mutated because of us. And it's in a natural disaster that comes to hit Japan. But the government, and that film is hilarious. It has a subtitle on top of subtitle on top of subtitle. It has 9 different things. And then a president dies. You're like, wait, who was the president? Oh, now you're the president? Okay. And he dies. And then it jumps around. And that film does it well because it shows the insane bureaucracy of government. But this one, it's too super surface level. It's like, oh, we don't know what to do. We're done. Capitalism.
Yeah. It's basically just what it comes down to is like just the president, essentially just the president and just the fucking the tech guy or the people that are solely responsible for the entire destruction of the entire planet. And it's like, nah, man, I don't care what side of the aisle you are politically. Politics comes down way more complicated. It's so much more nuanced than just who's in charge and who's the president. There's both sides of the aisle can completely fucking destroy like anything and just ugh.
And that's what I hated. This film was basically the message is basically like if we had a liberal president, the world would have been saved.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
no, I was like, it's so lazy. Like, okay, honestly, like that's why I appreciate Veep, and it's on HBO, which is like they have some liberal leanings, but they were criticizing a liberal female president.
Yeah,
and
they're showing her being selfish and being like completely self-involved and yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's like the thing is that's the part of satire. It's supposed to be provocative.
Yeah,
when you just criticize Trump and conservatives, it's not provocative. It's been done. It's lazy.
You're just proving yourself right. That's it.
Yeah. It's like what would imagine if this was like Joe Biden, right? It was a Joe Biden character and it was criticizing him, right? Like he's pretending to be good, but he's actually working with the big tech guys or something like that. Yeah. Then okay, I'll be like, okay, I give her props. Like it's ballsy, but it doesn't do any of that. Like and also kind of like which one of my favorite films of all time, and also Adam McKay's tries to ape this film quite a bit, especially with the Leo speech.
Yeah.
I'm mad as hell is that with Network is at least there's some semblance of reality to make the satire effective.
Yeah.
That, like they actually did a lot of research and that's some way similar to how actually a network runs and them criticizing TV networks.
Yeah.
In this one, I did not see any of that. I don't see any semblance of real reality.
No.
Within the governments, within how people react. I mean, sometimes yes with COVID, but that was like super lazy, low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, every character there, almost every character, was given some level of humanity and depth to them.
Yes. Yeah. Even the characters who are portrayed as like soulless, like business people or whatever, is they have some layer of complexity and tragedy to them where it's like, yeah, they're kind of like the soulless person, but honestly, they're probably going to end up like, in a real shithole because they just don't know how to connect with people on any form of human level versus something like in Don't Look Up where
it's like conservatives bad.
Yeah.
What's it? Conservatives bad.
Tech company
bad. And that's it. And like
that's
how?
Literally
Why?
it. Yeah. And then at the end, you get to see them eaten by aliens. Yay. Like, oh, great. Isn't that just awesome. Like I'll say this movie did a great job. Like halfway through, I was like, I really hope that meteor just fucking wipes everybody out because this planet sucks and these people all suck.
Yeah.
I was like, wipe them all out. Fuck them. These everyone here seems terrible. Like I don't give a shit. Like, yay.
Let's not give this film any more love or words. Let's end this. Let's end our suffering.
Okay.
What's our final rating?
Oh man, it's like I'm really dangling above the shit bucket here. This might be like my lowest
Just commit.
stream with ads.
Not even bargain bin?
Oh, sorry, no, but see, like we have to fix that because I'm like bargain bin implies that like I would want to own this, but I do not want to own this. I would say bargain bin so that I can throw it in the shit bucket, but I'll say bargain bin so that I can give it away to someone on a white elephant that doesn't want it.
For me, it's shit bucket.
Okay.
I really hated this fucking film. If a numerical rating, it's like a 1 out of 10.
No, that's fair. It failed on I think almost every level that it was like attempting.
Yes.
And it's like that's really harsh. I don't understand why.
And it's gonna get nominated for all these fucking awards. Okay, we'll talk. I'll bitch about this in our Oscar special.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Thank you guys for another angry episode of Half a Clue movie review.
Honestly, tell us all your political beliefs in the comments. I'm just kidding. Please don't do that. No, but thank you guys. Yeah, drop us a comment. What do you think of this film? Did you love it? What other satires do you like better?
All right, thank you guys. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.